everybody, and welcome to my TNA Impact Wrestling review. As a lot of things happening on the show, well, last night in a way, we didn't have time to review. I had a lot of TV problems, but I saw the show. I had to watch the Impact Unlocked since I had cable problems. Pretty much coming out, Bobby Roode still having the World Heavyweight Championship in his hand. On the right hand is back to Bobby Lashley last week when it was on the ground during the street fight. But pretty much what happened, he came out talking about the whole BDC and everything and how he was going to get at him and Eric Young, and he was going to get the title back to Lashley, and he knows he wants that title back. He's worked hard his entire life to feed his family and everything. As he talked about Eric Young, me and how they were like blood brothers and stuff, and pretty much he's going to spill his blood then. But he talked about Lashley, as Lashley came out wanting his world title back. And no, he said, you know, it isn't his, but he has to earn it back. Pretty much, he is the number one on the leaderboard right now. People started chanting Lashley sucked in, but he respected Lashley. He respected Bobby Lashley and everything. Now, they put on great matches, and they can do it again one day. And pretty much Lashley says, well, I'll give you back the belt, but on one condition, you want a rematch. And Lashley said, you're on. And pretty much then after that, he said, why wait? We can do this right now. Aries came out then, since he is the Feast of Fire winner and everything, he talked about, there's multiple ways to cash in that case to win the title. You know, he's done it with the X Division title before, but with a Feast of Fire case, he could do it right here in New York in his street clothes. When you guys are drained or fresh, he can cash that thing in any time he wants, as Aries said that. Anytime he wants. The MVP came out talking about they're all dumb and everything. And he talked about y'all come out here whining over the world title and stuff and how what the BDC is doing. And he says you're all in nothing, especially Lashley saying we made you and everything, so you wouldn't be champion if it wasn't for him. Pretty much then Lashley said, you know what, I'll take on all four of you tonight for the world heavyweight title. So it will be Bobby Lashley versus Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode versus MVP for the World Heavyweight Championship. Knockouts titles on the line next. Gail Kim versus Terrence Terrell versus Madison Rain, which was a really great match, I'll say that, especially for Madison Rain. The crowd was really with Madison Rain after all the maneuvers she was just pulling out there. Like, I have to say, Madison Rain was dominating the match and pretty much killing out there. But Terrence Terrell was still able to successfully defend her title, but Madison Rain was really good. It was almost like a standout almost. Crazy moves she was doing out there, and the crowd was really into her, cheering her name at one point throughout the match. But Terrence Terrell got the win. And by the way, she was in that Will Ferrell getting arrested video thing, where she was one of the cheerleaders for whatever Will Ferrell's new movie, which people thought was a real cheerleader, but it was Terrence Terrell, the Knockouts champion. Rockstar Spud managers were enjoying the site, so they had to get ready for that match tonight. I guess it's going to be EC3. Tommy Dreamer came out, once again back in TNA. Again, Dreamer came out. You know, the crowd cheered for him for the past 25 years. He's entertained the crowd. He still does it to this day. And pretty much he talked about Eric Young as he called him out what's happening. And Eric Young told Dreamer, it's none of your business, pretty much get out of here. Dreamer says, this is my business. I've known you guys for years now, that you're one of the first 3 people that came up to me to greet me in this company, because it was Eric Young, then Bobby Roode, then. As he said, they greeted them when they first came in. And pretty much I'm talking about, what are you doing? You guys are just breaking your friendship and everything. And Eric Young says he doesn't even care, because he didn't care. But Dreamer says, I've seen you go from a nothing joke to a world heavyweight champion, and that's something. He said he's been betrayed many times. And pretty much Young said you're a good guy, and good guy is the problem with you. That's why you never made it really nowhere in your career. You're still in this pretty much sad place in New York, as they call it. And pretty much Young said we were friends, but you know, he made the big pretty much we're not anymore a dreamer, so you're going to make the biggest mistake with your life and career, and pretty much about the world. It says, did you ever even ask Bobby Roode for a world heavyweight title shot? As pretty much Dreamer took off his jacket and pretty much Young pretty much kicked him in pile driver, Tommy Dreamer inside the ring then, and then beat up one of the Bell guys, was gonna hit him with a chair, but Bobby Roode came out and made the save as he beat up another, I think via the same ring Bell guy. The Hardys were talking about Jeff's Monsters Ball match against Abyss tonight, as he was naming random objects he was pulling out of his hand, or a trash can, or what's going to be involved. Kurt Angle talking to Gunner, trying to get people for the Lethal Lockdown matches for next week, since Lockdown is next week. So Kurt Angle talking to Gunner. It says, you know, I see a sleeping giant, so I told you to wake up and everything, because he warrior. Then he slapped Gunner, says, I'm your warrior, then pretty much now joining Kurt Angle. So he says, now you're awake. Bram went to Madness in the bar, talking about the whole tag team feast of fire that we could, you know, still have the titles and everything. He talked about Bram saying he brought his family, he said he's fighting for his family, and he showed Bram pictures of his kid on his iPhone, and it's pretty much, you know, they pretty much settled their whole thing. They said, let's go, and pretty much they went through a different exit, and when Magnus was walking in the back in circles, when sometimes saying that exit couldn't get through, he kept looking everywhere until Bram attacked him and beat him up, and so, and betrayed him. Well, he beat him with I don't know what he hit the last thing he hit. He hit him with a ball or something in his head. So, I don't know where this is going to go, even though Magnus did look a little bit crazy walking around in circles in a bar trying to find his way out. Jeff Hardy went against Abyss on a Monsters Ball match, which was crazy. I like how Jeff just went through that table, jumping out of the ring, trying to do a poetry in motion. And pretty much as the match kept going on, Jeff was going to hit the Swanton Bomb, but the Revolution came out and attacked them, Manic and others. Storm was able to kick Matt Hardy in the face, but the Wolves came out to make the save in. And when Abyss tried to do a suplex on Jeff Hardy through the tacks, Jeff dodged did a sunset flip on Abyss, hit him through the tacks, and won the match, didn't beat Abyss. So it was a good match, another crazy Monsters Ball match, so that was really great. And so Hardy talking about, you know, we're gonna win the tag team titles next week in the lockdown, so they were gonna win. Aries talked about the title match tonight, since he didn't have to cash in. He said he's gonna win the world title tonight. Rockstar Spud and Mandrews came to the ring ready to face, I guess it was EC3 and Tyrus, but EC3 said it's not going to happen, so I got some different opponents for you. Pretty much they went against the Bromans. Spud and Mandrews beat them with a pretty much a sliced bread and a shooting star press. And after that, Tyrus got in the ring and started beating the hell out of both of them there, as EC3 got in Rockstar Spud's face walking around saying, like, you're going to be going against Tyrus next week. But he said it wasn't fair in a steel cage, so it's going to be him and Mandrews versus Tyrus next week inside the cage. So that was going to happen. And EC3 talked about it and said, you're going to get the hell beaten out of you. And pretty much they went to Spud in the back because I'm not a loser. He says, that's why we broke our friendship. I'm not a fucking loser, he says. Next week, pretty much for lockdown pay-per-view, since everything is in the cage, Awesome Kong will be going against Havoc. The Hardys will be going against Storm and Abyss for the tag team championships. Lethal Lockdown, Team Angle versus Team Roode. Yes, and Mandrews and Rockstar Spud versus Tyrus in a lockdown match also. 6 sides of steel. And it's the fatal 4-way for the World Heavyweight title went on, which was a really good match, pretty much. Even though the BEC pretty much got involved, Eric Young and others. Bobby Lashley was still able to win. I also thought Austin Aries was going to win after Dot Spear hit a Lance Chancery, but Lashley hit a spear on Austin Aries out of nowhere. When in the match, the BEC came out to attack then Lashley, but Kurt Angle and Gunner made the save. When they went back from commercial break, Bobby Roode challenged he challenged Eric Young next week. Me and you steel cage, because he said your blood is going to spill next week. And Kurt Angle talked about the Lethal Lockdown. He's 2 members short, and Austin Aries offered to join, so he was in the team. And he asked Bobby Lashley to join, but Lashley says, I don't like their team, but I won't be part of yours either. And that pretty much ends the show tonight. So it's an alright episode of Impact tonight. hopefully lockdown's gonna be good. I got Josh Mathis. Not on pay-per-view, was free on TV. You know, I thought the first pay-per-view to give for TNA was Genesis, but I don't know how TNA's doing the pay-per-views nowadays. Yes, they do this one night only pay-per-views, but we gotta go back to the old ways of the pay-per-views, if you ask me. We gotta go back to having pay-per-views like, you know, every other month or something. Not these 4 pay-per-views in a year, because the most consistent TNA pay-per-views that were happening was back in like March and April, because that's what TNA was doing, like pay-per-views, more pay-per-views at the time, and Slammiversary and others. So I don't know what the deal is gonna be when there's pay-per-view, because I thought Lockdown was the key pay-per-view that they would have on pay-per-view, but not. So I don't know how their pay-per-view schedule is gonna be out this year for TNA. But once again, you know, it's me, HWLD, coming at the news and reviews. You know what I am, know how to do with the show. I go with the flow. You know what's going now. This is today, and now we're done with this review of TNA. I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.